Cool. Yes. Beautiful. Hi. Welcome to my channel. I'm Carola. Welcome, beautiful beings, for whoever joins us. And today's a journey of doing readings on self-mastery. What's going on in the world, how we can master ourselves around all this chaos and many other things. And if someone walks in and out, this is my grandkids. Because they live upstairs, so they come in here quite a lot. So welcome. House rules. If this does not resonate, please just stroll past. I don't care either way. This is to enlighten, to help, and for entertainment purposes only. If you like this channel, please subscribe. And share if possible. That would be so lovely. So if you hear noises, it's all good. So first, I'm a soul mender. I'm the creator of the Looking Glass Oracle, which are for sale. The link is below. They're still for sale. I'm also an author in The Soul Rising. The book is behind me. also published into the Oracle Me magazine. Right, I do readings in there also, which is every 3 months. This magazine is actually for free. You can look it up online. And it's a beautiful written magazine by many people, many women. It's quite beautiful. So the Oracle Me. So we're going to discuss self-mastery. I'll just turn my phone down. All right. So self-mastery comes in different ways and forms. And mastering one's energy is what sort of self-mastery is about. Owning you, owning yourself, stepping back into your power and being the best version of yourself. So to me, self-mastery comes with a lot of boomerang effects, a lot of things from the past that resurface even in our world today, and how everything is played out on the stage. So in a moment, the self-mastery is how we do take ourselves back from what is basically hijacked by many, many white collar and other entities, basically. So we have to really look at how can we take control of our self-worth, our power, while all this craziness is going on. So I'll be channeling. I'll be using all different kind of decks today to do readings, and also my first opening will be with my Oracle deck, the Looking Glass Oracle. This is a very deep deck, so if you ever have any questions, please just send them to me. So today, in the self-mastery session, we're doing looking at how do we identify our self-mastery in our little world that we live in through our eyes, and because everyone sees everything different. So how I see things, you probably see them totally differently. So what has meaning to me in a certain way has a different meaning to you in a certain way. So it's really important to really comprehend all this. So I'm just going to put my glasses. So there we go. So we're going to have a look at how do we identify self-mastery, the power within. So how do we as a soul doing the human experience fit into all this, and how looking back at all the lifetimes that has been on this earth, is the disappearance on of many civilizations and stuff like that. How do we look at it? How do we understand it? How do we go back in time? Do we time travel? Do we bring all that in? All I know, in the moment, we're in a very karmic cycle of the wheel, which is bringing in learning to stand in your own power, because so many people have given their power away because of a belief system, a brainwashing, or a manipulation of a belief system, and we all get sucked into it. No one is immune to it, not even the elites if they think so. But what I'm saying is, how do we see it for what it is, and not get drawn into it, and still do our own self-mastering, our self journey, is when there's so much chaotic energy around and unfair things. So I'm going to pull a card on the self-mastery with the Looking Glass Oracle. So first, this the first card is extra money. Self-mastery is earning your own money, looking after finances, looking after how we perceive money is. So a lot of people say money is the evil of all roots, but how can it be? It's an energy, it's a flow, it's something that comes in and goes. So it's just a flow in life. So if we take the flow back of our finances, and stop thinking it's a root of what it's not actually a root of, like it's not part of that. It's just an energy. It comes and it goes. So and in a moment, a lot of people are hoarding it. So self-mastery is not about hoarding. Self-mastery is always having a flow. So it's quite interesting. So to me, is doing the self-mastery is understanding that in our reality is, while we're doing this experience, we can feel, touch, have everything around us. But once we leave this body, it didn't really matter anyway. It was just there to make us comfortable. So no matter how much you hoard stuff, you can't take it with you, basically. So always have a flow. Allow the flow always to stay within you, with you, around you, and understanding who you really are. In this flow is, things come and things go. It doesn't matter as long as you're okay with what's going on in your life. So then we have the identity of it. Is there's a lot of deceiving in the identity of self-mastery. So self-mastery is, as you know, there's a lot of YouTube channels, a lot of channels out there, a lot of books that tell you how to bring all this. Like when the book The Secret came out, there was a secret of how manifesting is in your reality. If you want to manifest something, you concentrate in the consciousness and you sit there. And sometimes this doesn't happen straight away. I always wanted to live near Bundaberg, so I do live near Bundaberg, but that's when I've been here about 15 years. But that was 15 years, like about 12 years before that. I always had this dream. It took me a long time to get here, but I still got here. Seeing that you created that is the most important thing. Seeing that you can do all this is the most important thing. So to me, self-mastery is a very important tool to understand that it just doesn't fall out the sky. You create your visions, you create what you want or what you would like and then you visualize it, and then you put it into motion. Same, I needed some to move, so I manifested this place where I live in, where I have people living upstairs and downstairs. So to me, it's quite amazing, and being grateful about it all. But I manifested it very fast, and it just went bang, bang. But not everything manifests that fast. You're right there, kiddo? Sure. What are you looking for? No. So basically is we can step into manifestation any time. So it's quite lovely. So really it is about having a dream, having hope, having faith, and putting it into emotion. Doesn't mean it's going to fall in your lap. You have to create it, and creation comes from the mind, from the consciousness where we're going, and that's okay too. So don't get deceived by thoughts that everything is going to get given to you. It's not. You have to create, and to be a manifestor, to create is to have the thought, create. And then also we have the echo effect, where the boomerang effect, where we self-sabotage our manifestation sometimes. Many do that unknowingly. So, and it's like a little war inside us that is trying to take over and say, oh, we're not worthy, we can't do this, and we can't. You can. Your mind is the most powerful thing you have. Your thoughts are very powerful. So everything you do comes from, when it's in here, a thought goes out into the consciousness. And when you have a vision of where you want to move to, is you have your hope, then your faith, and then you reap. You go out and you come into a flow of accepting that you need that. And so if you have a lot of thoughts in your mind that you cannot do it, how are you going to master your self-mastery? It's a principle. We also, it's like, when you look in the mirror and you see yourself in a certain way, and you're not accepting of who you are, is because the mirror is telling you this story through your eyes. Is in your heart, that you can change things, and it is up to you to do the changes, basically. So it is a really important look at self-mastery. It is one of the most simplest things, yet misunderstood, because it's a creation from you, whether you look in the mirror and accept it or you don't. The most important thing I know about self-mastery is being in the flow, not, just feeling worthy, feeling good enough, knowing that you will always have enough, surrendering to your guide, surrendering to yourself, surrendering to the truth of who you are. Is, if you see the blessing is, a lot of us do still have a roof overhead, we have food, but our kindness can also help other people to, where we give them food or a little bit of help here and a little bit of help there, so they can get on their way as well. And that's another really important thing, is you cannot hoard, because it imprisons you. So our mind gets so imprisoned in a lot of things that self-mastery is this locked in, like we're under a spell that got cast long ago, and which it has, so I'm not denying that, but we need to uncast the spells, basically. that we can all manifest for the better of humanity, for the better of the world, and then step back on track. So to me, that's a little bit about self-mastery, is being in your power, not being greedy, because not hoarding, but flow, having the flow. You need the flow in there. So you get a lot of people that promise you all these things, but a lot of people don't keep their promises either. Oops. A lot of people don't keep their promises because there's this empty promises. And how many people do empty promising? Quite a lot of people. So just be mindful of that. So in this lifetime, like manifesting, I wanted to create a oracle deck. That's always been my dream. I finally did it, and I have other decks as well. I'm in there with other people, but I won't go into that today because I promote them enough in my other things. But now we're going into. So if you ever have any questions, just flick them to me, and I'll have a look at them. So I'm also an oracle tarot reader. So I've been doing this for a very long time because it's what I love doing, and because I love seeing spirits. I love mediumship. You know, when someone passes over and got messages for them, and yet there's a lot of people that believe it's not true, but that is their journey. You know, they call all these people out, but they're not looking at themselves of what they're creating, really, an unbelief system. And, you know, I can tell you one thing is the spirit world is much calmer and nicer. Even if you work in the shadow being energy, you can see basically how to maneuver yourself. In humanity I've never seen so much destruction on humanity, belief system over their gods. You know, there's so many beautiful people out there, and yet there's this brainwashed people out there that believe they need to push their religion or believe about their God onto other people, and then they slaughter other people for it. I mean, that's not God's energy, for goodness sake, you know. So we have to be mindful of all that as well. Is if we want a better world, we all need to create that with our consciousness. We create it in how we treat people, and etc. There's a saying that the earth is splitting. I don't feel it splitting like that. I just feel the consciousness is shifting to a higher consciousness, so a frequency. We all run on the frequency. We're all souls that doing a human experience, and people talk about the soul traps, and that's like the Wheel of Fortune in the tarot card. But if you really believe that to be true, it will become that. You become trapped. But would you like to be trapped? Of course not, you don't. So it's a much nicer feeling to let go of that thought system. So I'm gonna use the Immortal Cycle here, by an Australian creator. So okay, let's go with it. It's an obligation. Oh, interesting. Heavy weight of responsibility. It's interesting is because if you really look at it, we're doing a human experience which is very full on, since I've known when I was a lot younger, I didn't want to be on this planet because it was just so mean, and not much has changed. You know, there's so many beautiful people around, and there's so many mean people that just abuse everything. And are they aware of it properly? Don't know. But I guess it makes life boring if we didn't see that in a way. But so obligations to me is what obligation does a human has to do a life experience, you know, or where they're brainwashed to believe something totally different. So obligations. Then we got reprogramming. So this is the obligation card. Reprogramming. So that's quite interesting. And reprogramming is, how do we reprogram ourselves back into our soul's journey? Unhooking ourselves from all the agendas, unspelling all the casting. It's really interesting. So there's a lot of resistance at the moment in this world, all over the world. A lot of people's belief system's been shattered. They've just had enough. They're tired. They're worn out from all this crap all the time. And drink some Buddha tea. And where do we go from here? So how I viewed it, like I was looking, I don't know if you call it remote viewing, if you call it going back in time, time travel, whatever the case may be, is I go to play, I'll put a target in my head, what I want to review and how it came to be. And then you can do some research on it, what other researchers say about that as well, especially it's from history, if it has been erased. But I do have a lot of books here, old books, so I'm saving that one. But the resistance is basically I see a world where men want to dominate humanity, that no one else has a say except them, that certain religion, I'm not going to name it outright, but they cover up anyway. Their religion is that their God is the only real God. Yet they must slaughter infidelity and shit like that. So I look at it and think, ooh, that's not very nice. So to me, there's going to be a lot of resistance, is because they're attacking innocent people for their belief system. They're brainwashing their belief. You know, you don't need to harm other people if you have a belief system. But it reminds me of the world wars we've had, you know, World War I and World War II, is what were we really fighting for? It was paid for by both sides. It was, you know, like when you do your research, is what was the real outcome out of it all, except a lot of wounded people. Houses were destroyed. We're destroying all that without, you know, there's a lot of little wars going on, but we're destroying our countries. Our leaders are destroying our countries just to have righteousness in their belief system. Yet the heart is not there. Why wouldn't you want people to thrive and to be the best version of themselves, you know, like, and that everyone feels betrayal. There's no more trust. There's no more to come back from all this, you know. How do we learn to trust these big companies, these big CEOs, the big leaders? There's nothing but betrayal and lies being told. So we have a lot of things, duality, a balance. Will there be a balance? How how will people receive all this? Because it has caused so much trauma onto everybody in their soul, and you know, who's going to regret what they have unleashed? And then we have patience, like we're all learning that patience. But how longer will people have patience for? Because we need more intelligence to come back forward, because it's nutty out there. Anyway, that is a little bit on that journey, if that makes sense. And now we have, I like these cards, they're beautiful. Very good. Creator. Has many decks out. It's Australian. So it's beautiful. Anyway, now we're going to go and sort of see what in the self-mastery game is what, I'm using the Moon Oracle here. What little message, I'll pull 3 cards from it. So they have beautiful sayings in the book, okay? So we've got 1, abundance, peace, and enchantment. So abundance is always plentiful, I believe. So if you read in the book, which I don't usually do very often because I don't really need a book, but I'll see if there's any nice messages. Abundance. Count your blessing. Goodness prevails. Your life is full and you have all you need. And this is a past, present, and future card with peace and enchantment. So in all this is if we want abundance of peace and enchanted, how beautiful. So basically it's time to release the past burdens of wars, the past burdens of greed. We need to really, really rebalance back into our heart, into peace, abundance, into magical, beautiful, heartfelt things coming from the heart. Do you know, I always feel in my heart, no matter what, we're going to be okay, one way or the other. We're going to come out of this okay. In my heart, I believe that so deeply. We'll do a world reading in a minute. All right, now I'm going to use the Moon Tarot. So we're going to go into the energy of shift. What needs to shift? For us to see clearly and rebalance our energy while we do this. What do we need to know? So we have the 10 of Wands here. So the 10 of Wands is a grounding card. It's also having the wands around is how do we manifest our protection? How do we manifest a better future? It's the ending and the beginning, because the 10 is also an ending card as well. Then we have got 7 of Swords. It's a very mental card. Thinking, overthinking. How do we move that energy? We have the King of Staves. So I feel the male energy has to really start regrounding itself, because there's a lot of A lot of them that are not very grounded. And where's their backbone? The Nine of Wands. It's a very grounding and rebalancing the energies. It's quite interesting, actually. We have the Ace. I like aces. This is the Ace of Swords. So it's a manifesting. Aces is always in the head as well, like mental card, stress card is creating a better reality, going back. Oh, and the Six of Wands, this is when I'm getting all the wands. It's showing me a lot of earthly things, coming back to the earth, looking after Mother Earth, planting the trees, stop destroying the planet. That means data centers as well. We cannot allow something to change the frequency in the water. It's like they're destroying everything on purpose. So we need to step up. The Page of Wands. So there's a lot. And this is the younger generation who need to step up and understand that if we destroy where we live, how are you going to cope? How will life survive? The Knight of Pentacles, a rider coming in, financial, seeing through it all. And then, we've got the Swords coming in as well. So we need saviors, basically, in the Ten of Cups. How do we fill up the cups on this earth plane? So with all the wands that are there, is we really need to reestablish how we treat this planet, that we can't. If you have a look, the research on data centers, they have a frequency, and what they do is they change the frequency on the water, and once the water frequency is changed to a darker pattern, it affects all the water because water frequency travels. So if you understand that part, and it's very much in the quantum stuff and things like that, but the frequency of water has to stay high because it gives lives to everything on this planet, whether it's us or animals or trees and stuff like that. And if it's damaged, you don't want to see the trees go into depression and look sad, do you? Or the animals not have enough water because they can't drink that filth. So as human beings, the damage that's been done to this planet is mind-blowing, and very stupid people are doing it. There's nothing smart about these people except the greed for owning and being ahead of everyone else, no matter the cost to the planet. And that's sad because, they're destroying their own family as well. So it doesn't make much sense to me. So if that makes sense, it makes sense to me. Yeah. All right. So now I'm going to do a reading in Australia because they want to attack our super. So we're going to use I've got the government cards here. The prediction, the forecaster. All right, we're going to I'm going to use the governance deck. These are by Trish James. Anyway, if you're ever interested, here's their website. You can buy cards on there. She doesn't sell them anywhere else except on her website. I like these. Yeah, we're going to use the governance and then the prediction. Hang on. My mouse is open something. The mouse is on the run. The mouse is on the run. One day my channel will build. One day we'll know how to use technology properly. But I don't think, to be honest, is technology's going to slowly wind back on taking up so much of your mind, because you're meant to be a creator and creating things. So you need a balance, and not always to be on AI tablets and phones. But each to their own. All right, the government. Our super and Texas, the overreach. Can you please show me more of what I see? Oh, you jumped out. A selfish agenda. Oh dear. Who would have guessed? A selfish agenda. Oh, and then they're trying to make out it's a difficult decision. Yeah, right, not. And then the blaming game. It's the blaming game. Oh. So they want all your money, then they blame who they're going to blame, us, because they're so stupid, and then they're trying to say, oh, it's all for good intentions. No, it's not. Oh dear. Lacking control. So there's a lack of control in all this, is so stripping humanity, like here in Australia, stripping people of their assets, bringing in laws that you have no right over your farmland, you have no rights over this, you have no rights over this, that they can take everything away from you. So we're not in a very good situation in the moment here in Australia. And everything that they sell for next to nothing, see, there's a deal being made for it. And they are true to their words. This is about your superannuation that they are after. A national defence. So I'm going to see what that actually means. There's a power shift with a national defence. Ooh, interesting. All right. What else? Seeds of prosperity. So we used to have so many seeds of prosperity here in Australia, and if you own a business here now, because a small business pays double the electricity, double the insurance, everything costs double. Then you have your GST, then you have all the other taxes. Is you're basically, if you want to survive, it's very hard. So the seeds of prosperity is, how do we put seeds in to prosper again? And that's a really important question, is because the energy in Australia is people are exhausted, they have had enough, and there's external influence in doing all this and strategic moves. So unwavering stance. So basically is they think they have a right to your money. How you feel about it is a different thing, but I'm just telling you what the card says. I'm not commenting on that much more, but the cards are saying that. Okay. How do we move forward? So will anyone stand up against the government to bring in this, taking the super away and other monies the way they are? Let's take a look. Distraction. Oh, so they're going to bring a distraction and an illusion in, or a big problem. Oh, and this is how we're going to solve it. Don't believe them, it's bullshit. Distraction. The creation is from them, and they need to be held accountable. Duties keep quiet. Apparently is their duty. So just get on with it. But then I feel a handover of all this thing, but because I've got crowns here as well, but I'm doing Australian reading, is here they denounced the crown already. So, but there's a disaster and wreckage coming with all this. So I'm trying to do food shortages, be mindful. And they're doing it out of compromise and harmful withholding, hiding behind stuff. Interesting. And then there's taken by new force. So something is stepping in. And it's all a planned outcome. So all this is planned. Okay, don't believe it just came out of the blue. It's been planned long ago. And I remember reading on the webpage one day that they're testing Australia on all this. So I'm just letting you know that is interesting. So how do we manifest our freedom back? So this is about us standing in our power, taking our power back, allowing us to basically step back into the wisdom of it all and understanding their game, their greed, and that they think they have a right to everything you own. But not their things, just your things. There's a difference. So I'm going to use the pendulum. I like using pendulums. So, and then I do a more positive. So if you, this is a copper pendulum, all right? So here we have a yes and no card, the month, and so there's many cards here, the month and all that kind of stuff, percentages, name, you can do anything, but where's this going to go? Will the government achieve attacking the super that people have in their accounts? So it says no. Will the Labor government, Albanese, be thrown out of office? That's a big yes. So she's moving forward. So will it be a challenge from another Labor leader? No. We have a couple of years left, so it's going to be interesting. Very interesting. Are our house titles safe in Australia? It says maybe. No. It's going around in circles. So it's too much energy. All right, rephrase the question. House titles to the humans in Australia. No, that's not good. The property owners, are they safe of their title? In a moment, yes. There's a lot of things going on here in Australia, if too much for my brain. All I know is a lot of people just need a roof over their head, they need some food, and I think every homeless person deserves some food and somewhere to live personally. So that's my belief. So, and I hope we can bring this rich country back to that. I'll tune in now. So I'm going to just align with what I see and what the future and how we can manifest in this beautiful life force that we have. Let's have a look. So we have the first card, compassion. I always talk about compassion. So planting food, planting trees. I see many new invention of really good water filters to clean out all the fluoride, the stuff that they've really put in the water which shouldn't be in there. I see farmers planting new, they're ploughing. I see farmers getting smaller so more people can have a block of land. They're helping each other. I do see the fall of the government here in Australia. I see either illness or a retirement illness, because they know what they're doing is not the value of the people of this land. I do feel that the ancient land watchers are returning with a really strong energy and trying to connect with humanity, that this is not the path that we need to go to. Wow. The elders are coming very clearly through. Cleansing and clearing the land back into a frequency. So many of us have been so disconnected basically from the land, from the earth, of how we should treat it. And in a world where money talks and money only matters, is we need to come back where the land that we live on matters more than money, because you can't eat money. And it shouldn't be the control of humanity, basically. That's what I'm seeing. And there's a doorway, there's an ending coming, a big ending. I don't think it's straight away. I feel there's still 2 to 3 years I've been shown. There's a lot of cleanup and accountability will come to quite a few people. They will be held accountable with the damage that has been done to humans and to the land. And then there'll be a celebration. So that is my world reading. That is where we're going. So if you have any questions, please ask. If you're after a personal reading, yes, I do personal readings. There's a link below. You can make bookings in there, or you contact me. I will never contact anyone personally. It is not, I do not do that. I don't message people for readings. I do not offer readings for free. as it is a business. So all I do is do a few YouTube channels. I do Facebook, and that's basically what I do. I do a lot of my own publish my own stuff. I'm not very good techno, but like I do this, just get a message out, and hopefully it resonates, and hopefully the channel will grow. And and learning from the heart space. I wish everyone the best time of their lives, to step back in their power and be a very energy mind person, that whatever energy you give out or you stay stuck in, release it. So there's many tools that you can unhook. I do a lot of soul unhooking. I even past lives and future things to come, where you unhook from that energy so you don't get drawn into it. It's very important. I uncast spells. I travel through dimensions. I draw dimension stargates. I channel beings, which happens really quick. And the journey on that took me quite a long time. I've always got messages, but you have to learn, the right messages, the light messages, the beautiful messages to grow. Yes, I've been down the bottom of the pit many times and climbed back up, and done much work on myself to be a better human being. And that's what I wish for everyone to be. I do know a lot of things down the rabbit hole, but I don't want to feed it more energy. And I'm just sending a lot of peace and love and healing with that instead. And I hope humanity wakes up that it's not how you treat another human being. So the energy card I'm pulling today before I sign off is rest and rejuvenate in this energy, which is so true. And then we have the angel of strength. Call on to your angels. And we're just coming out of the lion sign into the Virgo, and keep the strength of the lion. Beautiful. And action. Take action from darkness into the light. Beautiful. I hope that all makes sense. And I hope your manifesting journey gets easier, better, and more understood. If it doesn't if things don't resonate with you, don't go down there. It's not important. Focus on what's important to you. Focus on making your life better, because in the end, it's you that matters, okay? It's you that needs to take charge of you, if that makes sense. So to me, all I can say is have a lovely afternoon, and see you next time when I do a live. And have fun and enjoy your happiness, because there's always something to laugh. Okay? With that, goodbye. Have a lovely, lovely afternoon. Thank you from Australia.